Hey guys, it's not Korea. So today's video, I'm sure you already know what this is about by looking at the title. I'm sure you can already tell. Or you're here because I already talked about it, or you have no idea what's going on. Well, in this video, I'm just going to be discussing how I personally feel about the situation and giving information and educating people who are obviously too ignorant to understand. Okay, so first I want to start off by saying this video is not to be rude to any of the students necessarily. I'm not going to be saying any names just because I think that's rude. When I first came up with the idea for the video, I definitely wanted to show the pictures. I didn't want to blur out anyone's faces. I want to be like, here, these people decided to do this decision and it's out now. So why should I not keep it exposed? But I've come to the conclusion that I just don't want to do that. I don't want this video to be like that. I want this video to be less angry because I actually waited on purpose to film this video now instead of last night, because if I did, you would have gotten a very heated person talking to you through this video and I would be just as red as my sweater. So I've thought about it, I slept on it, and I've decided that I want this to be more focused on the education that needs to be happening behind this versus the actual fact that I'm really upset. So just to start off with this, just with the backstory. So in Escondido High School, we do a thing called, well, they do a thing. I don't go there anymore. I graduated there last year. They do a thing called the senior picnic or the senior barbecue. It's it's like just you go, you eat hot dogs, you get out of class. It's just another senior activity, except for this one fact that you get a group of your friends together and you all have a shirt that says a letter, and when you stand and take your picture, that shirt spells out a word. So all these words have to be approved by administration, blah blah blah, all that stuff, all that good stuff, making sure nobody does any stupid stuff. That clearly didn't work. People still did stupid stuff. They used their shirts to spell out very idiotic things. Very idiotic things. 2 derogatory terms were spelled out by 2 different groups of students. One being nigger and the other being fags. No, I'm not going to say the N-word or the F-word. I'm going to say the real stuff because it's been exposed now, and since it's already out, we're going to talk about this the real way. The way it should be talked about, because continuously trying to censor these issues has not been helping, obviously. So, being black, I clearly just want to start off with the word nigger being spelt out. There's people saying that, oh, you guys go around and you guys say nigga all the time and you're not black, but now you want to stand up and say that this is wrong. Let's get it clear that nigger and nigga are not the same thing. Nigga is something that us black people used to say to other black people in an endearing way, like, oh, that's my nigga. Like, that's usually how it's used between us. It's like a calm thing. It's not derogatory, first of all. No people of other races should not be saying it. I definitely stand by that. Other people should not be saying that. But let's make it clear that nigger and nigga are not the same thing. Nigger is the original derogatory term. Honestly, as black people, when we say nigga, we don't actually directly connect it to the word nigger, because there's a difference. Nigger is what we were called when we were being put as slaves. It's a derogatory term to try to make us lesser than. Nigga is something we use in music. It happens to, at this point, be a part of our culture. And yes, we have like normalized it way too much. It's been normalized way too much. We give people the opportunity to come into a place they shouldn't be. When we put it in our music, that just makes people want to say it. I understand. I understand. But when I'm at church and I'm listening to a song and the song may have a curse word, but only I can hear it in my headphones and I'm singing along to it, you best believe I'm going to pause and not say the curse word. Because I know better than that. And you should know better too than to be saying nigga just because it's in a song. Okay? And what's the point? You're really telling me because it's in a song, you're like, oh, we're not supposed to say it? No, you just want to say it because we're blocking it off from you and that's making you want to say it. You only want to say it because you can't say it. If you could say it, I bet you you would not be saying it. Not as much, at least. Now, nigger, a derogatory term. Let me tell you right now that if it was a group of black kids, all black kids, spelling out the word nigga, it would be completely different. If it was the same group of kids spelling out nigga, it would still be horrible, clearly. Same thing with the black kids. You just shouldn't be saying that. And you shouldn't be saying that on your shirts. But if it's the same group and you're saying nigga, then it's like, it's not as bad. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they went out of their way to say a derogatory term. Now people are like, oh, they were just being funny. They just wanted to say a bad word. Nigger is not a bad word. It's a derogatory term. It is a racial slur. Now, let's step back. Let me be clear that I'm not calling any of the kids in the picture racist. I'm not saying they're racist. I'm not saying they have any racist tendencies. I'm saying that nigger is a racist word. You cannot be racist and be racially offensive. It's not the same thing. Racism and being racially offensive does not go hand in hand to that degree. You cannot be racist, you be far from racist, and still be racially offensive, even if by accident. Now let's make another statement. Let's talk about another thing. People are saying, oh, it was a mistake, it was an accident, it's a joke. First of all, it's not a freaking joke. It's not a joke. I don't think it's funny. Do you see me laughing? Do you see our community laughing? You're making us look like a joke. That's for sure. You're making Escondido High School look like a joke. But that is not a freaking joke. And you saying that it's a mistake, that it was an accident, there's no such thing as accidentally spelling out nigger. It took you a whole process. You had to gather people. You had to line it up perfectly to spell it correctly. You had to take a picture and post it. You're telling me that was an accident? That was an ignorant mistake? And none of y'all had the moment to think? To say, maybe we shouldn't do this. Even say it. Even say, haha, let's spell out the word nigger. It'll be funny. And then just don't do it. You should know better. Anyone who has common sense should realize that you should not be spelling nigger on a shirt, on anything. You should not be saying it. No black person should be saying it. No white person, no Mexican person, no Asian person. You should not be saying nigger. And if you think that I'm overreacting, you're wrong. You're wrong. Because this is how I feel about it, and you do not have the right to tell me how I should feel about it. And that is another thing. People are saying, oh, people are getting overly offended. It's just a joke. It's over nothing. Like, don't tell me what the heck is offensive. Don't tell me what I should think, what is and isn't offensive. Are you in my situation? Are you black? No. Be quiet. You do not have the right to tell me what I believe is racially offensive. You don't. You do not have the right to tell me that. I'm allowed to believe what I believe, and you are too. But don't try to put your words in my mouth. Don't try to tell me that I should not be offended by that because it was just a joke. It's not a freaking joke. Do you think it was a joke that people were slaves? Do you? Because that wasn't funny, and it's not funny now. Because putting us under the level and saying that we're niggers, saying we're niggers is saying we're not human. Putting a label on something is dehumanizing them. If you're white, you're not black, you're Mexican, you're Asian, you're not black. You're asking yourself, why should I care? If you're close to me and you don't care, and if you think this is not a big deal, you're wrong. Don't be close to me. Why should you care? Because you say you love me. You say you like me. You say you care when I'm upset. You say that you would cry if I passed away. Then you should care about this too. And if you don't think that this is a big deal, you're wrong. Now let's take another step back. People are sending out death threats about this. Do I think that's right? Heck no. I don't believe in that at all. I don't think that's right either. That's completely wrong. You should not be sending death threats to anyone. But I do understand that they are upset. Now let me make it clear one more time before y'all come up in my comments talking about you're promoting death threats. I do not think that that is fair and that is a proper, warranted response to send someone a death threat over anything, actually. That might be too far. Unless they, well, there are levels where death threats are more understandable than more, but just in this situation, it's not acceptable to be sending people death threats. Now, let's talk about another thing. Y'all want to say sorry now. Oh, real interesting. Because you didn't seem sorry when you took the picture. Oh, I was just having fun. Let's realize that the word nigger spelled on the shirts was spelled NNNIGGER exclamation point. That's 3 extra shirts, letters, that did not have to be there. That's an extra 2 N's and an exclamation point. That's 3 kids who wanted to be included. There's no peer pressure in that. You walk away, you say no. I've been peer pressured. I've been bullied before. That's not it. I don't care. I do not care. You had the opportunity. You wanted to be included. It did not have to be spelt like that. It did not have to be spelt with an extra 3 characters. You wanted to be a part of that. You said, oh, they're spelling nigger. Oh, I have an N shirt. Oh, I have an exclamation point. Let me join on in. Well, guess what? You join. And now you're upset? You should be, because you upset us and you upset people, and so you should be upset. People are saying don't let them walk. Don't let them walk at graduation. I agree. Sorry. Don't come at me telling me that we ruined your high school experience. You ruined your high school experience. You decided to take the picture. You decided to line up with the shirts. Notice how many people, many people, freaking, they mixed up a bunch of groups to make other words. And you don't see them saying nigger or fag. What the heck is wrong with you? Get it together. What did not go through your brain to think, oh, this might be wrong? And if it didn't, I hope you realize now that what you did was wrong. And again, don't tell me I'm over offended. Don't tell me that, because you have not been through what I've been through, and I'm not even close to the blackest out there. I'm whitewashed as all get out. I get told that every day. You're not black enough. I've been told you don't even care about black people when I was trying to do things to help black people. And yet I still have been called a nigger, and I still have been racially offended. So don't tell me, do not tell me what's a joke. You're wrong. You're wrong. Another thing. We're saying, oh, it's normalized. It's normalized to say nigga. It's normalized all of that. Ain't nobody going around saying nigger. The ER makes a difference. Let me tell you right now, the ER makes a difference. If someone comes up to me and says nigga, I ain't gonna act the same way as I do if they say nigger. I'm telling you that right now. And if you don't realize that, you need to open your eyes, because you're wrong. Nigga and nigger are not the same thing. Another thing. We're gonna switch over. We're gonna come back to the nigger word, but I think that the word fags being spelled out deserves recognition as well. Nigger was the ones that got reported first, but now the ones who spelled fag fags are out too, and they should have the same consequences. I don't care. I don't care. You should not walk. It needs to be that big. It needs to be that big of a consequence, because otherwise you will do it again. A slap on the wrist has not changed the way white people act, and it's not going to change it now. A slap on the wrist doesn't do anything. It stings for a little bit. But you need to have something, when you look back in your mind and you go to do it again, that you go back and you think, oh, crap, remember when I didn't walk at graduation because of this mistake, this accident, this joke? Realize what you're doing. Realize the power in the word nigger. Realize the power in the word fag. You are wrong. People are saying that the word fag is so normalized. People throw it around all the time. I do not care. If gays and people in the LGBT community say they do not like it, you do not say it. I don't care. You are saying a derogatory term. You just wanted to spell a bad word. I can name 5 bad words off the top of my head right now that don't offend people. Why didn't you spell that? You wanted to be funny? You wanted to say a joke? Spell the other F word. I do not care if you think it's normalized. That does not make it right. Normal is not always right. It's not always right. It's normal for jeans and clothes to be expensive at the mall. Does that make it right? Does that mean they're not overpricing? No. Again, another thing. Going to Pride does not automatically mean you are not homophobic, or that you can't have homophobic tendencies or be offensive to people of the LGBT community. You are wrong if you think that. Sorry. Sorry. There are extremely racist Republicans in office right now that listen to hip-hop. I don't want them listening to our music that we created, we built up, and now you want to appreciate that, but you don't want to appreciate me. It's the same thing if someone who's voting for Trump goes into a Mexican authentic, not no Chipotle, Taco Bell, Del Taco, none of that. I mean an authentic Mexican restaurant. Oh, I love this food. But you don't love the people cooking behind it. You don't care that some of them might be immigrants. You don't care that you are breaking families, but you want to appreciate their food? You're disgusting. You appreciate all of me or none of me at all. Don't do that. You can't choose your battles in a race war. Back to going to Pride. Just going to Pride, do you know how many people would just go to Pride because they're like, oh, it's another rave. It's not another rave. It is their opportunity to be prideful about themselves, to feel proud that they're a part of that community. They go out there and they're bullied. They're hurt. Their families are split up. Their parents don't love them no more because they're gay, they're lesbian, they're bisexual, pansexual. And you think it's just a party? But then you want to go and spell out the word fag? You disgust me for that. I'm not saying you're a disgusting person. I'm not saying you're a bad person. But your actions were disgusting and your actions were bad. Let's make that clear. I'm just so just hurt by this. The way that people are saying, people are trying to minimize how wrong this is. They should just be suspended. That's a slap on the wrist. Suspension ain't gonna do nothing. I've seen bigger actions for smaller things. So y'all want to suspend, y'all want to expel someone for getting in a fight, but if they spell out the word nigger or fag, then, oh, they should just get suspended? Yes, a fight is bad. I'm not saying a fight's not bad, but nigger and fag is just as bad, because let me guarantee to you right now, if y'all don't watching it, there's gonna be a fight about that. There will be. I know how it is over there. I went there. That's my high school. And you want to make my high school look like a joke? You are ruining it. You are ruining it for other people. The junior class is not going to have the senior barbecue the way that it has been for years because you wanted to spell out a derogatory term and call it a joke. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Maybe I'm so hurt. Maybe I'm so offended because I've experienced it before. Maybe if I was on the other side and I was looking in, I personally felt like I would still be like, yo, that's wrong. And I would want to help them and I wouldn't be like that. But maybe that's because I've experienced it. But something tells me that's not it. Something tells me that I realize what's wrong and what's right. Something tells me that I have no right to tell people what is offensive. Don't go out there. Don't tell people what they can and cannot be offended by. If an Asian person's out there and they're like, I don't like when people talk about ching chong, they squint their eyes at me. I don't like that. I think it's offensive. Who am I to say it's a joke? They don't find it funny. It's targeting them. Y'all like, oh, they said the word nigger. They said the word fag, but they weren't saying it at anyone. Yes, you are. You're saying it to everyone who is a nigger, who's black. Who's a nigga, who's black. You're saying it to everyone who is a fag, who's gay, who's lesbian, who's bisexual in that community. Oh, I'm in the community, so it's fine to say it. I don't find it derogatory. It doesn't bother me, so I can say it. It's just a joke. No. No. Letting things like this pass is the same thing that lets other things happen, like police brutality. And that, let's make that clear, police brutality goes for both LGBT and black people. That's something that they both deal with. And maybe gays don't get shot by police, but they do get bullied in their school. They do. And they don't get to step out and live a daily life. They are afraid of their parents because they don't want to tell them, they don't want to come out, and you want to say fag as a joke? It's not funny. I may have missed a few things. I may have missed a few points, forgotten things while I'm talking about all of this. But if you did not understand, if you don't get it now, out of the points I did say, you don't want to understand. That's just it. I don't care. I do not care. If you don't understand after this, you don't want to understand. You want to blind yourself to the fact that what you did was wrong. You want to blind yourself to the fact that what they did was wrong. You need to realize that it's wrong, and letting things like that pass lets bigger things pass, just like I said before. I'm not Mexican. I'm hurt by people who support Trump and want to send out people because they're not from this country. That's such crap. I don't care. Because of a paper? You want to split up families because of a paper? I don't care if you think that's not equal. I'm not Mexican. I'm not on that side like that. But I still feel hurt for them. And if you're not from this side, I'm not gay. I still feel hurt for them. I feel hurt for those people. If you're not on my side, you're not black. You say you don't get it. You don't want to get it. Ask me. Ask me questions. Try to understand. There's plenty of people who are not black that I know that have asked me questions because they want to understand. Why do you guys say Black Lives Matter? Don't you guys see that all lives matter too? They ask me so they can understand better. Ignorance ain't bliss. If you want to call this bliss, you need to go. And that's all I have to say. I'm beyond disgusted. My heart is beating triple time. Like, I don't understand any point that it went through your head after a whole process. It went through your head and not at any moment you thought it wasn't okay. You wanted to look cool. Do you look cool now? Do you look cool not walking at your graduation? because you decided to say a bad word. This ain't a bad word. Realize the power in words. Realize the power in your actions. Do not use your privilege for bad. And I don't mean that just to white people. We all have our own different types of privilege in different situations. Do not use it for bad. Because then you're being just as bad as anyone else. Realize that. And if you don't come out of this today learning something, maybe watch it again. Because I did say something. And I've said collected points from people that I know. This ain't all from me. This ain't all from this situation. This is built up. And if you don't understand, you don't want to understand. And if you're someone close to me and you don't get it, you're not trying to get it. And don't be close to me anymore, because I will distance you real quick. I don't put up with that. And neither should you. Just because it's normalized doesn't mean it's okay. Stop normalizing it. We really should. Thank you for watching.